It says it, but it's not yet. And we are live.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Senator Jim Dill, Chair of the IFW Committee, and I want to welcome everybody to our committee meeting. Today we have scheduled 4 work sessions, and we'll be getting those just in a minute. A couple things I do want to say. As I say, this is a work session today. It's not a public hearing, so the discussion will basically just be amongst the committee members, unless we call on someone else to come up and answer some questions. Electronic meeting, as you all know, make sure you're muted unless you're speaking, and we'll go from there. We process today is, as I said, it's a work session, and there's 4 of them. And with that, I think I'll go right in and ask members to introduce themselves. So I will start with Senator Black.
Good morning, Senator Black, representing District 7, Senate District 17, which is all of Franklin County and 4 towns in Kennebec.
Representative Lightfoot.
Good morning, Peter Lightfoot, District 129, which is Clifton, Eddington, Holden, Northborough, and Vesey.
Representative Neto.
Good morning, Kathy Neto, representing District 78 from Winslow and a portion of Benton.
House Chair Landry.
Good morning, Representative Scott Landry from Farmington. I represent District 113, the towns of Farmington and New Sharon.
Representative Ordway.
Good morning, I'm Lester Ordway. I represent District 23, which is most of the beautiful town of Standish.
Representative Terrio.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair. I am Tim Terrio. I represent District 79, which is Albion, most of Benton, China, and Unity Plantation.
And Representative Mason.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Rick Mason, District 56 for the great folks of Lisbon.
And thank you, everyone. As I mentioned, I'm Jim Dill. I represent Senate District number 5, Northern Penobscot County. And with that, we can go ahead and introduce our clerk, which is Linda LaCroix. And she will be running this whole electronic program this morning. And our analyst is Rachel Olson, and Rachel will be presenting each of the 4 bills in the work sessions that we have. And with that, we'll go right into work session. And I'll open the work session on LD 116, an act to allow the Commissioner of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife to authorize the hunting of antlerless deer without a permit in certain areas. This is sponsored by Senator Landry. And with that, I'll turn it over to our analyst, Rachel Olson.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'll go ahead and share the screen so everyone can see the bill analysis. It was emailed out yesterday and is also available on the committee materials webpage. Okay, so we're starting today, which is a day full of deer bills with LD 116, an act to allow the Commissioner of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife to authorize the hunting of antlerless deer without a permit in certain areas. So this bill authorizes the Commissioner of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife to allow hunters to take antlerless deer without an antlerless deer permit in certain areas of the state. And it also changes the term antlerless deer permit system to antlerless deer permit lottery. Looking at the testimony in favor would provide more opportunities for hunters. The any deer permit's the primary tool for balancing deer populations, and this would give the department more flexibility to meet their deer population goals. And although we also saw people who were in favor, they wanted the committee to consider unintended consequences such as hunter migration or landowner conflicts that may arise as a result of this bill. In opposition, the main points were that this could have a negative impact on the deer herd and that effective wildlife management techniques are proactive and non-lethal. And then individuals who were neither for nor against also generally supported the department's ability to manage the herd, but saw this as a good last resort tool for the department to have. Also wanted the committee to consider unintended consequences, and also supported the idea, but have a broader interest in having the committee direct the department to form a stakeholder group to review the any deer permit system as a whole and develop recommendations. Just a note, the current antlerless deer permit system is a chance lottery. So the current statute uses the term system, and the system that is used is a lottery. If we change the statute from system to lottery, that actually limits the scope of what the system could be to a lottery rather than something else. The fiscal status is not yet determined. I've included for links here the bill, the link to the testimony, link to the Inland Fishery and Wildlife webpage on any deer permitting. And then for reference here on the current statute, just the beginning of the section that's being included is the commissioner is about suspension in this first part. Just open that to make that make more sense. So in section 1 of the bill, paragraph F here, this is about suspension of licenses. That's what that's referring to. And that is what I have for you to start with. And I'm happy to take any questions, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Rachel. Are there any questions for Rachel? Kim, excuse me, Representative Terrio.
Thank you, Senator. Rachel, you said this changing it from a system to, what are the changes that'll make that something good or bad?
I don't think it's a good or bad. I just wanted to comment. So the current system is a lottery, but the statute just uses the word system, which is not limited. So there could be multiple systems. If we change the word to lottery, that is a limited word. We know what a lottery is. It's what's currently being done. So that was just a note for members to consider. It looks like it was a language update to reflect what is actually being done. It doesn't really impact the other parts. It's not coming out of the change from the bill. It looks like it was really just to update the language to what is actually being done. So it was really just a note to consider.
Thank you, Rachel. I'd just like to ask Judy if that's something they were aware of, and are you okay with it?
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute, Representative.
Okay.
Let's finish with Rachel first. Representative Lightfoot. You're muted, Representative.
Thank you. I would just ask the sponsor whether they'd want to change that wording to limited.
We'll come back to the commissioner in a minute. Any other questions for Rachel before we move on to the commissioner? Seeing none, thanks, Rachel. And I will ask the commissioner to unmute herself. I see that some folks have questions. I'll start with Representative Terrio.
Yes, no, I'm just curious if you're aware of that, and are you okay with the change and all of that? Yeah.
Yeah, that was an intentional change.
Okay.
So,
No, that's
we're
all I
fine
care
with
about.
that. Thank you.
Representative Lightfoot, was that your question also? Or did you have something else for the commissioner?
No, that was, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner, I do have a question. One of the suggestions in here was perhaps to form a stakeholder group. And my guess would be that it's probably a little broader approach, looking at the whole antlerless deer permitting system. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you, Senator. We would be very supportive of working with some stakeholders to review the antlerless deer permit system and bring back to the committee recommended changes so that we could continue to meet our deer management objectives, as well as provide a transparent system that has some predictability and equitable access for hunting opportunities for folks. So we would be very happy to do that. I think it will probably take until next January. I don't think we could do it and have a report back, by the end of the session, but by the beginning of the year, I think we could accomplish that.
So then what I'm hearing you say, then we probably should possibly vote to carry this bill over and direct the department to go ahead and form a stakeholder committee and discuss this and bring back the results, like you say, in next January.
That would be perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Representative Terrio.
I would like to make that a motion that we form a stakeholders group and have the department come back to us in January with a response.
I would second that.
It's been moved in second. Representative, does that mean that then by directing them, we probably should send them a letter to do that?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. That's part of your motion, and send them a letter to direct them.
Yes.
All right. It's been seconded. Is that correct? Whoever seconded it?
Yes.
Okay. Representative Hepler.
Good morning. Which bill? I just got here. Which bill are we talking about?
Sorry, 116.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to carry this bill over and to send a letter to the department to form a stakeholders group and report back to the committee in January on the results of that?
Oh, sounds good.
All right, seeing no more questions or comments, would you please call the roll, Linda?
Yes, I will. Okay, starting with Representative Lyford. You need to unmute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Representative Mason.
Yes.
Senator Black.
Yes.
Senator Dill.
Yes.
Representative Landry.
Yes.
Representative Terrio.
Yes.
Representative Ordway.
Yes.
Representative Alley.
Yes.
Representative, you have to turn your
Yes.
Oh,
representative,
right.
you have to turn your camera on before we can take your vote.
That's right.
Well, you're talking to me, so I can't get the picture here. Can
Okay,
you-
if we can't get the
Can you hear me?
if we can't get the picture, what we'll have to do is have you call in to Speaker Pecto and register your vote if you don't get your camera working before we're done this morning.
Okay, well, I'm trying to.
Okay. Is that
And
everyone, Linda?
I believe that is everyone who is present. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I call him Representative Hepler? I'm sorry.
Oops, there we go.
Okay.
That's
I'm
okay.
on now.
Oh, and there's Robert. So yes.
Yes to you and
Yes.
Representative Alley once again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep. And his was yes.
So there's
Yeah.
10 in favor and 1, 2, 3 absent.
You didn't get Kathy Neto.
You didn't,
Representative
you didn't
Neto.
get mine.
Oh, I thought I
Yes.
did.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm
yes.
sorry. Okay. All right. So that's everybody now, I believe, and that is 10 in favor, 3 absent.
So 10 in favor of vote to carry over and send a letter to the department. And that will be it for this work session on LD 116. We'll move on to LD 212, an act to support senior hunting by allowing lifetime licensed hunters over 65 years of age to automatically receive an antlerless deer permit. And that is a Representative Deshawn's bill. And with that, I will call on Rachel Olson to give us a summary.
Great. Okay, so LD 212, an act to support senior hunting by allowing lifetime licensed hunters over 65 years of age to automatically receive an antlerless deer permit, not D permit, as I have a spelling mistake. This bill provides that a person 65 years of age or older who possesses a valid senior resident lifetime hunting license must receive a permit to lawfully take an antlerless deer in any part of the state open to the taking of antlerless deer. Testimony in favor was this would allow individuals to hunt longer into their lifetime, show appreciation for licensed senior hunters, and that that these permits are already awarded to individuals with ambulatory disabilities, these special type of permits. Opponents spoke about how this could result in unpredictable antlerless deer harvest. Some areas of the state are able to sustain this and others would not be able to and would be over harvested. That doing this is not in line with the big game management plan put forward by the department. And also this again referenced, as mentioned in the last bill, a desire to have a broader discussion on the antlerless deer system, any deer permitting system at the department level, and opponents who believe that hunting is inhumane. Neither for or against was really talking about this desire to have a review of the entire system that believed it has been ineffective or less effective, excuse me, over time, and would like to work on a review of that system. Testimony presented a few options to amend this bill, such as requiring the senior lifetime license holders to apply for the permit, but would receive it if they applied, and to have that take place perhaps after landowners and youth who also receive special consideration in the system. As I mentioned, currently, there are special provisions for landowners, individuals with ambulatory disabilities, and junior licensed hunters. I'll also note in my conversations to gather information for this that the department typically refers to seniors as anyone turning 65 or older during the year in which you are hunting. Not just being 65, but if you turn 65 within that time frame of the hunting season, you would be considered a senior. So you could technically be 64. And then the department provided us some information related to antlerless deer permits, the number who applied and the permits that were available that year, as well as specific information related to seniors. And I'll just note on some of the senior data, it's they're not exact. It might be a little rough just because of that 65 cutoff, but it is very, very close. And actually the 2017 and 2018 data I pulled from last session when this bill was considered in the 129th. And then I got updated information for 2019. So related to seniors, in 2017, about 67% of seniors who applied won some type of antlerless deer permit. In 2018, that percent was 76. And in 2019, it was 72%. And those are of seniors who applied who received some sort of antlerless deer permit. And there are approximately, from the testimony from the department, approximately 44,000 senior lifetime licensed holders who would be eligible for the opportunity. So you can kind of compare, if you want, the number of seniors who are hold these types of licenses and then the numbers who actually apply in the last 3 years. And then the department also provided, there was a question at the public hearing about the number of permits issued versus the total harvest. And so the department provided that data going all the way back to 2001. So the number of any deer permits issued and the total harvest, so deers tagged that year, and the percentage of those are off on the right. And they do have, they did provide the data for 2020 as well. The fiscal status has not yet been determined for this bill. And here at the bottom, of course, I have the bill testimony link, as always, linked to current statute. And then, as I mentioned, this same bill was put forward in the 129th, first regular as LD 190. it was reported out ought not to pass, and I've included the link to that as well. And with that, I'll stop sharing and take any questions that the committee may have.
Are there questions for Rachel? Representative Hepler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Rachel, the chart that you had at the bottom, was that just recently added? Because I printed out.
Yes, I'm sorry. I got that data this morning, and I sent out an updated bill analysis by email. So yes, I apologize. That only came in this morning. We've all been very busy.
Perfect. Thanks. I just couldn't read it on the screen. Thank you.
Yes. So it should be in your email if you need to pull it up.
Great.
Are there any other questions for Rachel? Senator Black.
I saw on the bottom of that on 2020, it said 30%. That was 30% of the total doe permits that were allocated killed does. Department of, does the department have the percentage of what does were killed of the 33,100 and whatever that was killed this year?
Hang on just a second. Let's finish up with Rachel, and then we'll come over to the commissioner. Are there any other questions for Rachel? Okay, continue, Senator Black, please. Thank you, Rachel. So, Commissioner, I don't know if you heard his question or can answer that question.
Senator Black, could you repeat the question, the percentage of?
You're muted.
Senator Black, you're muted.
The chart showed, I believe, the 30% was of the 109,000 or whatever it was that you issued this year. That was 30% of them killed does. My other question was, what was the total doe percentage of doe kill for the number, the 33,000 that we killed this year?
So I can ask Linda to bring in either Nate Webb or Nate Bieber just to make sure I get this correct. But I believe that the first column on that chart was the total antler deer permits. The last column was the total harvest. The number of does killed this year was 13,698. So I don't know if that answers your question. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do that math that quickly.
Yeah, that answers my question. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay.
Commissioner, I have a quick question. So if all seniors were given, and that's the folks that already have a senior license, I'm just assuming probably most people, when they do turn 65, they get the senior license. But anyway, regardless, you said that would be about 44,000 automatic doe permits. So as you look over time, that could be a fairly significant percentage of the doe permits issued. Is that?
Certainly, yeah, certainly. And also, I mean, the majority of the doe permits right now are still limited to the southern part of the state. And, certainly the population is, those over 65 are spread across the state. So many of those seniors would be in areas where there are very limited or no antlerless deer permits currently issued.
Right.
And Nate or Nate,
Sure. We now have Nathan Bieber in, and I think there was something, Commissioner, you asked that he would answer, and I don't know if.
No, I just asked to have him brought in case there was, I wasn't quite clear what Senator Black's question was, so I wanted Nate to be able to address it more thoroughly if I didn't have the answer.
Senator Black, did your question get answered to your satisfaction?
Yes, the Commissioner answered it very well. Thank you.
Amazing.
All right, thank you. Representative Terrio.
Thank you, Senator. Well, I'd like to make a motion that we actually ought not to pass because they're going to have the stakeholders group put together for these doe tags, and that should be part of the discussion anyways. I don't think we need to carry this bill over with that. So I think we have the vehicle that we can address this.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Representative Ordway.
Yes, I'd just say that, well, very well intentioned, and I certainly fit into the category that would benefit from this bill. I would ask that stakeholders group look at something similar for youth hunters. I think our biggest problem is not retaining senior hunters. It would be getting youngsters involved in hunting in the state of Maine. I would way prefer giving doe permits to kids than old fogies like me.
No comment, Representative. So,
Who's a good hunter?
yes, I can see someone else must be a fairly good hunter here with the wall behind him. Are there any other discussion?
Kill.
Yes. All right. Seeing none, Linda, would you call the roll?
I will. Again, beginning with Representative Lyford,
Yes.
Representative Mason,
Yes.
Representative Hepler,
Yes.
Senator Black,
Yes.
Senator Dill,
Yes.
Representative Landry,
Yes.
Representative Terrio,
Yes.
Representative Ordway,
Yes.
Representative Ali,
Yes.
Representative Nadeau,
Yes.
and I believe we still have 3 absent. So that would be 10 in favor of ought not to pass.
All right, so on LD 212, an act to support senior hunting by allowing lifetime licensed hunters over 65 years of age to automatically receive an antlerless deer permit. The vote is 10-0, ought not to pass. And with that, I'll close the work session on LD 212. And I will open up the work session on LD 294, an act to simplify the any deer permit distribution system by including the ability to purchase additional permits. The sponsor of this bill is Representative Landry. With that, again, I will turn to Rachel.
Great, okay. There, make that a little bigger. LD 294, an act to simplify the any deer permit distribution system by including the ability to purchase additional permits. So this bill allows the Commissioner of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife to offer for direct purchase antlerless deer permits in certain wildlife management districts as the Commissioner finds necessary based on deer populations and deer health. Possible amendments or things that were suggested during testimony. Nate Webb from IFW asked in his testimony that the committee consider authorizing the department to work with stakeholders to review the current antlerless deer permit system and develop recommendations to ensure it meets 3 primary goals: effective management of deer population, ensuring equitable distribution of hunting opportunity, and minimizing administrative complexity and costs. The fiscal status has not yet been determined, and I've included the bill text and the current statute below. It inserted a paragraph into this section here around rulemaking. And with that, I'll take questions from the committee.
Any questions for Rachel? All right, seeing none. I have a question for the commissioner. For all intents and purposes, it appears that the idea of doing this was for areas where it was a healthy deer pod. Doesn't the bonus deer or any deer permit kind of cover that now? I mean, I realize that doesn't necessarily mean that once I've shot my doe, I can go out and get another permit because I didn't have a bonus one. So that would make that a little different. But for intents and purposes, doesn't that do that?
Yeah,
Heavy populations or something?
It does to some extent. There were, a number of districts this year where people had bonus permits. I think the goal here is, so in some of those, I think the goal is probably to have it function more like the expanded archery, where you could harvest and then continue to harvest. And so you would have a higher success rate for many of those folks. So some folks that apply for any deer permits and in fact get bonus permits maybe aren't intending to harvest multiple deer. So I think the intention was to try and increase the harvest in portions of the state where that we can afford that. And I think likewise, we've already discussed, I think this would be a very valid consideration for the stakeholders group to flush out a system that might work more effectively for those districts that can handle a more substantial harvest.
Okay. Senator Black.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for the commissioner. We discussed earlier of changing with the stakeholders group, the bill there. It said from Doe system to Doe lottery. Wouldn't this bill fly in the face of that? Wouldn't that be, you know, if you would be able to purchase extra Doe permits, wouldn't that be in direct conflict with a lottery?
Right, I think we would have to work that out and how those that would be available for purchase versus those that are granted to landowners or youth that get higher consideration than most folks. So I think that will all be part of what the stakeholders kind of work out and present back to the committee next winter.
Thank you.
Representative Mason.
Thank you, Senator Dill. This is for the commissioner. Commissioner, don't most farmers or people that have a product they sell, can't they get a permit from the Warden Service to shoot deer if they're harming their crops? I mean, I don't know. It seems like farmers in this area, that's what they do when they have problems.
Sure, so there's a couple of provisions that the department has. So any landowner has the ability to remove an animal that is causing property damage. Other than beaver right now. So any landowner can do that, you know. There is also the option for farmers or other landowners to get depredation permits from the Warden Service or from our biological staff if it's determined that the farmer himself or herself cannot actually remove those animals, in which case we authorize other hunters or shooters that are identified. So the permit would outline you could take up to 3 or 5 or whatever the situation warranted. So, but those are generally done, Representative Mason, outside the regular hunting season. And so those are done, you know, in addition to or during different times of year. They're not necessarily done in the fall during the regular deer season.
Right. Yeah, I understand that, Commissioner. It seems like, you know, if you're taking deer out of season and then you're selling more permits, you know, I think there might be an issue there with maybe overkilling in that area. Just a thought. Thank you.
Representative Landry.
Yeah, the intent of this bill was to more efficiently harvest does where they need be. But I would recommend this bill, as we just did with 212, move it into the stakeholder discussion and work it out that way. And I don't know if, as a sponsor, I can recommend not to pass.
You can make that motion.
I would do that.
I'll
second it.
It was moved and seconded by Representative Landry, seconded by Representative Ordway. Any further discussion? Seeing none. I do see that we have Representative Ducharme in, but I think that was the last bill, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Linda, please call the roll.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the motion one more time, Senator?
Yeah, it was ought not to pass.
Okay. And again, starting with Representative Lyford.
Yes.
Representative Mason.
Yes.
Representative Hepler.
Yes.
Senator Black.
Yes.
Senator Dill.
Yes.
Representative Landry.
Yes.
Representative Theriault.
Yes.
Representative Ordway.
Yes.
Representative Ali,
Yes.
Representative Nadeau.
Yes.
And I do not see any of the others in attendance. So again, that makes it 10 in favor, vote not to pass.
Okay, so on LD 294, an act to simplify the any deer permit distribution system by including the ability to purchase additional permits, ought not to pass, was the verdict with 10 and 3 not voting. Before I move on to the next work session, I will call on Representative Lester Odway.
Senator, if I could, well, he's gone now, but Representative Sham, I did see his name in when we were talking about his bill.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see his name when we were
Yeah, he's
talking.
gone now, so never mind.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so we closed the work session on LD 294, and we'll move on to the final bill on our docket today, and that I'll open up the work session on LD 88, an act to amend Maine's wildlife laws regarding species of special concern. And I will call on Rachel again.
All right, good morning, everybody. As you know, on Monday, we worked on LD 88, and the committee directed me to work with the department on an amendment to work on the language around the definition related to species of special concern. The department and I have worked closely over the last 2 days. Unfortunately, we don't have language ready to come back to the committee today. We're balancing the needs around the definition. We don't want, we're walking a very fine line, trying to thread a needle with the definition and working with stakeholders as well. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get finalized language ready for the committee today. So if it's possible to bring the amendment back on Monday, that we would be able, the department in working with myself would be able to do that.
So you think if we table this until Monday's work session, you'll have time to work with the department and come back with the correct language?
Yes, we're in the middle of the process, and we think that we'll be able to have that finalized by Monday.
All right. Representative Theriault.
I'll make a motion, we table
It's
Second.
been moved and seconded. Was that Representative Mason, I believe, seconded to that? All right. All in favor, you can just raise your hand on this one. Okay, it's unanimous. So we will table this and we'll bring it back on Monday.
Thank you.
I will thank you. I will close the work session on LD 88. Is there anything else, either Rachel or Linda, to come before us today? Nope. Don't
No,
forget. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think you were going to do it, Senator Dill.
I was just gonna say, don't forget to keep an eye out for notice tomorrow or the Zoom meeting for our budget hearing scheduled right at the moment at 3 p.m. And we all know since we're on the last of the day and it's budgets all day, 3 o'clock may be a dream. But other than that, was that what you were gonna say too, Rachel? Probably not the same way I said it, but Representative Lightfoot.
Senator, while the commission's here, could I ask her a question on the budget?
Sure.
Thank you. Commissioner, I meant to address the budget of one item in that earlier, but the $6 million going into search and rescue, I'd like to know what percentage that is of your total budget approximately. And is that for just overtime?
I
Mainly?
can get you those details, Representative Lightfoot. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I can get you those details.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Representative Hepler.
You're
You're
on.
muted, Representative.
Sure. Were there budget materials distributed that I missed? I sent out to the committee or no?
I will check on that. They wouldn't have come from me. They would have come from John Clark, who is transitioning on as the analyst and will be there for the budget hearings.
Okay.
I will double check. And actually, if you just give me a moment, I'll check to see if they're on the website too.
Okay, thanks.
So I would, if I may, Senator Dill, just to clarify for Representative Lightford, that was actually, I believe, a CARES Act transfer. So that $6 million was Warden Services budget that was attributed to COVID-related activities that we were able to have covered with the CARES Act money. So I don't think that was specific to search and rescue.
Any other questions or comments before I go back to Rachel and see if she found the budget? If not, we certainly can ask that Rachel mentioned to John Clark that see if we can get a budget, copy of the budget ahead of time so we can look it over. And I know that the commissioner said after this meeting, she'll send us her testimony on the budget. So we'll have that portion of it at least.
Yes, I can.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I can certainly send you my testimony once we've sent it over to committee. And I can assure you it's only 37 pages. So.
Only 37, that's good. Thanks.
3 o'clock, it's not that bad.
Representative Ordway.
Yeah, if you look down in the chat section, you'll see Rachel has put up a link to that.
Okay.
Yes, so that comes right from the committee materials webpage. So John had it posted there. So he's pulled the sections of the budget specifically related to IFW for your reference. And then he will receive the report back following the hearing today, or excuse me, tomorrow, following the hearing tomorrow, which I'm sure he'll share at that point as well. And then AFA will, again, after the hearing tomorrow, will send a package of any testimony that they received related to this portion of the budget, and we'll send that along. So you should receive materials probably from today through Friday related to the budget.
Great. Thank you. Any last comments before I ask for a motion to adjourn? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Representative Alley, motion to adjourn. Representative Terrio seconded it. All in favor, none opposed. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow afternoon.